Hey guys, welcome back to another team builder for the PBO. We are in the semi-finals, and so let's see what we've cooked up. As you can see, we're in our builder here. This week we're playing semis, like I said, and we are playing against the New York Nickits. Now, the New York Nickits we faced back in week 5, I believe. I think it was 5, and they had a pretty offensive, crazy, awesome team. Awesome, to be honest. And that was the week where we premiered our free agent trade, being Black Cherry the Ampharos, and we took the dub. It was very fun. Since then, there's been a couple swaps. He's done a couple swaps of his own. So there's no more Hisuian Samurai, no more what is that mon? No more Gothitel either, which he actually bought against us. It was AV at the time. So let's look at his team now and see what we've cooked up to play against him. So his team is Sneasler, Basque Legion Female, Rotom Mo, Klefki, Lycanroc, Pyroar Hatterene, Tatsugiri, Spidops, Sandaconda, and Girafarig. So, a couple notes about his team. 1. His Sneasler is his Terra Captain. He can Terra into Fidine or Flying type. Okay? Super standard, very easy. Then we get to Basque Legion Female, and this is the one I'll show you guys. Basque Legion, oh, I can't spell. Basque Legion. So Basque Legion Female, as you can see, has the lower attack stat of the Basque Legion pairings. It's a little more specially offensive, but just like its physical counterpart, it does get adaptability, and for some reason, not my choice, Last Respects is enabled, is legal, so it's gonna be really fun to switch into that then without a normal type. Save me. So we'll see what happens. But yep, that's Basque Legion Female, Rotom Mo, Klefki, all that stuff's good, pretty normal. He made the swap for Hatterene from his Hisuian Samurai, which I think is better for us, because his Hisuian Samurai, as you guys probably know from the ladder, is really hard to switch into. Basically, you switch in worst case scenario, he gets some chip, plus he gets spikes up. Like, that's really balanced. So that frees up a lot of EVs and I guess function of our Toadscroll on this team, so that was nice. And then his Girafarig is also new, and it's not AV Gothitel like he brought the last time we faced off, which really was supposed to be his check to our Enamorous. So that also enables Enamorous to be more damaging to his team. So I think his changes are pretty good for us, with the exception of Basque Legion Female, because Basque Legion Female is a mon that takes no prisoners, for sure. It just does a lot of damage. And so hopefully we can navigate that and come up with a dub. Alright, so first things first, we're starting out with the GOAT herself. The GOAT herself, Juvia of Vaporeon. This week, we're not running fucking Hyper Voice. That was fake news. Actually, I guess I'll give you guys some context. So we ran Hyper Voice last time. I don't want to run Hyper Voice this time because he obviously has a Ghost type now. So I think Surf is better. Any chip is chip, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the idea. Anyway, so this week, we're running the same set as last time, except obviously now we have Surf. So Surf, Wish Protect, Baton Pass. This is all very standard stuff. I don't think there is a alternative offensive move that I want. I don't love the idea of bringing Shadow Ball, for example. I do think his Tatsugiri now, back in week 5, game 1, I made some interesting decisions, and it basically came down to Juvia Wish supporting the whole team back to full HP, which we did because his Tatsugiri was not taunt, or Encore. I believe he gets Encore. If it should get Taunt. It wasn't Taunt, so I was allowed to Wish and then slow baton pass everything else in the game, and that was really good. I think he's going to be running Taunt now, because after that first game, I just completely smashed him with Vaporeon. So I do think an offensive move could be good, but there's nothing that comes to mind, with the exception of Shadow Ball for Basque Legion, but I also think if Tatsugiri is going for taunts, I think we can go into an Amorous and stuff, like hard. Because if he spins, we'll be faster because of our Scarf, because it is Scarf and Amorous, just like last week. And if it's Draco, it's good. Nasty Plot, it's good. It's only a water move, but who the fuck's clicking a water move when you have taunt, right? So, stuff like that. So, I think Baton Pass is okay. I still think the slow initiative is really good into things like Pyroar if it's not taunt, but if it is taunt, then if it takes a Surf, it's really bad for him. This also, like, checks things like Lycanroc and his Sandaconda pretty effectively, because as you can see, we're rocking a much more physically defensive variant. We're running max HP, 168 defense, and 188 plus a calm nature SPDF wise. So this spread is basically it's kind of like a universal wall. It kind of walls most things on his team, but more importantly, it is obviously physically invested for, like I said, like there's like it checks Lycanroc, it checks Sandaconda. Obviously, it can kind of sit on Klefki too, because what the fuck is Klefki going to do? So I can kind of wish past the things on that. And the 88 SPDF plus the Calm Nature lets us take 3 Shadow Balls from Basque Legion. I believe that is correct. Let me check. Basque Legion female. Yeah. I believe this lets us take Vaporeon. Yeah, so this lets us take, sorry, I'm making sure I don't fuck up my calcs. So like we talked about before, about this Basque Legion is technically more specially inclined. So with that, we do want to be able to switch into maybe a potential Specs adaptability variant. And so this is what Juvia does, right? Immune to water moves, resist Ice Beam. And then with the Calm Nature plus the 88 special defense, we'll be able to take 2 Spec Shadow Balls from full, and then we can Wish, Protect, and like navigate from there. So that's why. Hopefully you've been special, Prage, because if you've been special, then it's way easier for us to it's way less irritating to switch into. I guess speaking of Basque Legion, we can go next to our buddy here. So we have no Pudding. He's back. I don't remember if I have I don't remember if I have 2 Ds. It is 2 Ds. Okay, we're smurfing. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So yeah. So this is our accomplice in trying to deal with Mrs. Basque Legion, I guess, because it's female. We're just running a simple max physically defensive impish nature Overquill this week. We're rocking Crunch, Spikes, Aqua Drip, Protect with Black Sludge, obviously Intimidate. This is obviously our Ghost Resist, so this is kind of our last respect switch in, which is really not a switch in if it's choice band adaptability, everyone's dead kind of thing. But we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, sorry. I'm like having like Vietnam flashbacks. Oh no, not last respects. So I gotta think about that. Fuck. But yeah, this is basically our best attempt to take some kind of ghost move. Crunch is very obvious. Obviously, we're just trying to crunch and do as much damage as possible to Basque Legion. Spikes is good because Spikes is just obviously always good to have hazards kind of thing. He does have Hatterene. I don't know if he'll bring Hatterene in on Overquill, because what happens if I just have Gunk Shot? Thoughts? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's... I don't think it's an easy sell for him. And I have Spikes as well. I do think there will be a situation where my Overquill will sit on Klefki, and then yeah, I can just kind of Spikes on Klefki. And we might trade Spikes, but we have something to deal with that, as you can probably see beside our No Pudding Overquill. So yeah, I think trading Spikes is good, because any kind of damage on Basque Legion, like I said, is super fucking important. It's unbelievably important. Aquajet is just here for priority. If things get low because of Spikes, if things take a lot of damage, it's just nice priority. I do think this technically could be Gunk Shot. It's kind of a hard decision for me though, because it's like... it's a little hard. I think Gunk Shot has a lot of value. I'm just trying to I'm trying to consider all the options. I think Aquajet's nice against Sneasler, for example. If shit gets out of hand with Sneasler, I think we should be able to Aquajet for the, you know, the little bit chip that it is, try to knock it out. But I also think if that's the case, then we're kind of fucked. So I think maybe we should be running a poison move instead. You know, maybe something like Bob Barrage or something, because Bob Barrage will let us get a 50% poison, lets us hit Hatterene super effectively. And if Sneasler does Terra, then it will let us hit Sneasler with poison damage as well, which I think is good. Alternatively, it could be Gunk Shot, but I think the idea just... I have to hit Gunk Shot and stuff. Like, I think Bob Barrage is better. See? A live team building, boys. You're getting in on the process. How beautiful is that? But yeah, so that's Overquill for this week. Oh, I'm also rocking Protect because I want to know what the fuck this Basque Legion is doing. If it comes in on me, for example, let's say it's Choice Specs Adaptability Hydro Pump, like, oh, I want to protect and see that. It also maximizes Black Sludge recovery, and I guess actually now it also helps with the Poison Tick as well with Bob Barrage. So all in all, Protect is just there. I think it's good. Speaking of Spikes and Klefki and all that wonderful stuff, we have Brussel. He's making a comeback. He's here again. Now, like I said in the intro, kind of, now without Hisuian Samurai running around rampant and completely fisting my team and setting up Spikes while he's doing it, we have a much more, I would say, supportive Toad School than before, where we were running like a lot of much more special attack and modest nature, and we're really trying to stick it to the Hisuian Samurai. This week we're running heavy duty boots because again he has Spikes and we want to be able to spin. And lucky for us, his only spin blocker, being Basque Legion female, loses to Toad School pretty effectively. I believe it's like a 50% chance that I one-shot it with Leaf Storm if it's at full HP. If it takes any kind of damage, it does just die. I think it does 96 min. So that's really good for us. We're rocking Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, Spore, and Rapid Spin. Our EV spread looks a little unique. We have 248 HP, 124 special attack, 24 speed F, and 112 speed with a timid nature. So let's get the cooking. So it turns out we are kind of lucky. I wanted to put Spikes on this guy because I was like, because I was super hyped about using Toad Scroll versus Hatterene, because we have the only Spike setter in the world, except for I guess Hisuian Samurai, that can use Spikes and not get them bounce back. So I was really excited about that. But through further development of the team, I thought that I would rather be able to hit things harder, set things up more, you know what I mean, like be more of a nuisance than just setting up Spikes, and so I moved Spikes to Overquill like we saw. Instead, we're rocking Spore for our supportive move. And Spore still works like spikes, obviously because of our wonderful unique ability, Mycelium Might. We'll be able to Spore Hadavine just fine, no problem. Obviously, that's fine. That's really awesome. We have Sludge Bomb hit Hadavine super effectively. More importantly, it does hit Rotom-Mow super effectively, and this set does basically wall Rotom-Mow. The 24 Split F does actually matter. It lets us live +2 Leaf Storm for max special attack Rotom. So that's really exciting, because that means that we don't have to be worried about... Sorry, I said max. I mean like +2 Nasty Plot, +2 Leaf Storm from Timid Rotom-Mow. So that's really good. It just lets us soak Leaf Storms in general better. Sludge Bomb, depending on his spread, so if he's no HP invested Rotom, it does 50% min with our spread. That's really awesome. If not, it does like 40% min if he's max HP. Either way, he won't be able to sub on us, and that's really what matters in my opinion. Obviously, we're running Spin, because again, I think we will just get into a match where Klefki might be trying to spam spikes on us and be a nuisance. Well, we have Spore to Spore Klefki, so we can try to stifle that nuisance, plus we have Spin. I do believe we do outspeed, so this 290 number for that speed tier lets us outspeed Basket Legion Female, lets us outspeed Tatsugiri, stuff like this. Basically, his base 80s, Tatsugiri's base 92. It does not outspeed Max Rotom, but I don't think he's putting Max Rotom. He didn't bring it with him last time, and I think Max Rotom, if he does bring it, it will be like Specs, or it will be Scuffed. It will be choiced in some regard. I don't think he'll be like, oh, I need max HP. I need max speed, and then like half HP, half special attack kind of thing. I don't think that's happening. So defensive Rotom, if it comes, which really kind of equates to full max HP, will be, I believe we'll be able to beat 1v1. Leaf Storm in general does just hit his team relatively hard, right? Like it hits Sandaconda super effectively, it hits Lycanroc super effectively. Even something like Pyro is not appreciating the damage. It's just a high base power move. So I think that is all pretty good value from Toadscruel this week. And I will say, just like the previous battle we had with him the previous week, I do think this is a very good mon to immediately punish his Sandaconda if it comes. Because the Sandaconda cannot touch this thing. It can Spore us, and that's about it. I mean, Spore us. It can Glare us, and that's about it. So we can spin his rocks away. We can take any hit we needed to take. So that's very good as well. So this is also a very light, super light soft check to Lycanroc as well. All in all, this is pretty good. So you kind of get the idea of the team so far. Find ways to take hits from Basket Legion. Make it take spikes. Hopefully we can put it in range of something later down the line. And that is relatively correct. But just remember, basically 2.5 Mons, or for sure 2 Mons, is dedicated to beating any kind of variant from Basket Legion. And let's not forget about the OG threat that caused us a little bit of trouble previously when we fought him in week 5. He still has fucking Sneasler. He still has Diaclaw EXE, go fuck yourself. So that's really bad for us. And just like in week 5, we are obviously trying to use our lean here to navigate such feats. This week it is not Stealth Rocks. This week it is just, again, Fizz Def, Max, Impish Nature, same thing as our Quillfish. We're rocking Earthquake, Encore, Recover, and Counter. So we have to run Covert Cloak this week, because if this thing gets fucking slept or poisoned by Diaclaw, it's over. It is over. It's gonna be very hard to navigate, because This thing takes just under half from CC. He did been Terra fighting against us previously, so he might do that again. Obviously, counter knocks his ass out. We did that in week 5. We're gonna try to aim for it again. Recover because we're Quagsire, obviously. Earthquake because it's gonna hit everything except for Flying Sneasler, but Flying Sneasler still struggles with killing us. Well, Flying Sneasler will do less damage because it doesn't have the super boost stab, right, from Terra, so that's good. We have Unaware, obviously. And this is where Encore comes into the situation. If he has something like Terra Flying, Acrobatic, CC Diaclaw, right, for example, he still kind of has to Terra Fly and SD on us. Like, that still has to happen. And so I'll be able to Encore that kind of thing. Because again, if I hit counter, he'll die. So that's really nice, is like, he knows, because he's aware of the counter, I think Encore value goes up, because he's going to try to be outplaying the counter, right, with SD, for example. So then I'm like, oh, okay, like, we'll Encore you into SD, and then we'll go from there. I even think if I get the prediction wrong, for example, and he goes, like, for CC or something, maybe he's terrified and he goes for CC, and I click Encore, then we have like a Namorous, for example, who obviously will live it, and then we'll try to knock it back, right, if it's Terra fighting, for example. If it's Terra flying, I do expect him to kind of just spam SD, try to mind game me a little more. So I think between Encore and Counter, we have actually a lot of potential to be a fucking nuisance to this Sneasler. It does require us to click well and make the right plays, but I think this gives us the best chance. Instead of trying to use something like Avalanche or Ice Punch or Stone Edge, right, and like try to hit super effective flying guy, it's like, I don't think that's worth it, because then what happens if he's Terra fighting and he just SDs again and then we lose, right? So I think Encore is very good. We've been on the fucking Encore kick with Quagsire. I think the past like 3 or 4 weeks we brought it. It's just really nice to punish things that want to overwhelm Quagsire, well, overwhelm the team after they break Quag, right? So I think with Encore plus Counter, we'll be able to beat Sneasler. This is our one-stop shop. There you go, to try to beat Sneasler, which basically requires me to outplay the guy. So hopefully that goes well. But don't worry, me and Quag, we go way back. Okay, it's been like 10 weeks. Okay, that's all we need. We're going to the fucking moon, baby. Alright, and so with that being said, let's move on to our 2 offensive threats of the team. Oh, excuse me, I'm fucking dying. So we have Hate Fuck. He's back, baby. This is literally the same set we've ran before. It's not hard. Yeah, just max, modest, scuffed, super great. We are running Contrary, just in case he tries to pull like some Memento shit with like Tatsugiri or something. We can get in on that action. We can get +2/+2. Maybe he's running like some what, I don't even know what it's called, like stat lowering prankster move with Klefki or something. Again, it's fine. It's just Klefki. Like I say, it's just Contrary. It's whatever. It's not really important. Moonblast, Mystical Fire, Sludge Bombing, Healing Wish, easy breezy cover girl. Moonblast hits his team like a bitch. Like, it's just hard to switch into. His 2 resists, being Klefki and Pyroar, are very easily overwhelmed. We saw this in week 5, where he brought Klefki. It was Fizdef Klefki, max HP, max Fizdef. And obviously Klefki in general just has a good matchup between Baxcalibur and Enamorous. And very quickly, it was taking 25%, 30% from resisted hits from them, and it was very easy to overwhelm. And so that's why it feels very good to basically get Enamorous in as much as possible and just start clicking Moonblast. Bascu Legion takes 57% Min from Moonblast. So guess what threshold we're trying to get Basket Legion in? 57% smiley face, which really means make it, if we get 3 spikes up, make that bitch come in twice, and then it dies, which is like fan-fucking-tastic. So I'm really hoping that we can pull that off. We have Mystical Fire, because Mystical Fire in general is good against Klefki, super effective damage, and I think the special attack drop actually has a lot of value into things like potentially Hatterene, Pyroar. Like if they want to like make this hard read or whatever, like we'll take the net win, right? Because the -1 special attack, which is good. And then I think the only change from last time was we are now running Sludge Bomb instead of Psychic. I don't know why we had Psychic. I don't remember. Anyway, I don't know. But now we're running Sludge Bomb because he has Hatterene, which is super effective against, and obviously we want to navigate that. We could be running Earth Power instead of Mystical Fire, but Earth Power will not one-shot Klefki, and if he runs fucking Magna-Rest Klefki, and then my guy's kind of a liability. So I don't really want to deal with that. So we just want Mystical Fire, get some nice chip in general, drop some special attack stuff will be good. Yeah, so that's 8 fuck for this week. And then finally, last but not least, the man who said game 2, I'm gonna take that 6-0 real quick, like the 6-0 demon himself. Oh, okay. So this week we're running a very similar set, super duper similar set to week 5 when we played against the New York Nickits the first time. We're running max attack, 244 speed, which really just means enough speed with Jolly Nature here to outspeed Rotom by 1 point. And then obviously we just put 12 defense in something. I mean, in theory you could do this, right? Like, wow, amazing. Like, it doesn't really matter. But we'll do that for making sure I have the most maximum subs, I guess. And it can come in on rocks multiple times then. More times, technically. We're running loaded dice this week with DD, Substitute, Iron Head, and Icicle Spear. So, just like week 5, this guy does the same fucking thing. He just comes in and he clicks Icicle Spear. It's way easier than before. There's less hazards this time around and stuff, so it should be easier to get them in. Also, we're running Terra Fairy because we want to be able to just trade. We want to be able to just take all kinds of ragtag moves, and I think Fairy has a better neutral typing for that. It also lets us like maybe get an outplay on something like Tatsugiri with Draco Media, and obviously if we're at full HP, Surf won't kill us either way, even if we are neutral to it. It lets us take on things like Lycanroc better, so we don't die to like Priority Accelerock. It also lets us take things like Foul Play, which I think could be a potential bring Foul Play, whether it's on Klefki or whether it's on Rotom, to try to counteract this. So it lets us resist it, which really means it lets us sub on 1 Foul Play. The second one does break us up, but we get to do that, and then we get the Icicle Spear. So that means we can kill Rotom, for example. We won't kill Klefki, but again, 25% for Klefki. For my 25%'s okay, considering that we have Wish support and we're trading HP like that's okay. I think it's a decent trade. Obviously, it doesn't have to be that. If he brings like Dazzling Gleam or something, I do believe we can sub on Dazzling Gleam with our Fairy type. So basically, if he doesn't bring Flash Cannon, we're balling. All of this is pretty standard, pretty normal stuff. We are running Iron Head instead of Earthquake because in week 5 we did tech the EQ. Because I think it was +1 EQ, like basically eviscerated Hisuian Samurott just because of it's not the most physically bulky mon in the world, and Excalibur has quite an asinine attack stat, as you can see. This week we're running Iron Head because he picked up Hatterene, which is just straight up a Fairy type. So we kind of need to just be able to do damage to that. which it looks really good at +1. Iron Head does like 66% if it's max bold, like physically defensive Hatterene, which is not, I would say, super common, but it could be a thing. It also does pretty okay damage to Klefki in general. It does technically do more damage than Icicle Spear. I think it does like 33% or 37 or something. Like it's whatever. But chip is chip, you know. Plus it gives us a little flinch action if we need it. All of that is just, again, a net positive. As you can see, we are not running Glaive Rush, which is kind of sad because it's like the OG Finn, but we're not running it. And so we kind of struggle with sufficiently killing Bascu Legion in one shot. But again, I will say Bascu Legion at +1, I believe, is taking like 57% from Icicle Spear at +1. So again, maybe not. Sorry, not 57. It takes 53. That's the Enamorous scout that we talked about previously. So yeah, this is a much different approach to the game. But again, if Bascu Legion comes in on a one spike, even if it's just one layer spike, that's 12%, plus he takes a beating from Icicle Spear, like, this is relatively a net positive. We are faster than Bascu Legion, assuming that these, it's not scuffed. So we can, like, sub to scout a move, for example, maybe, I don't know, right? Like, I think we have some maneuverability, some options there. If he doesn't scuff Bascu Legion, I think that's actually way easier for us to switch into. That makes, like, physical scuff is way easier for something like Overcoat to constantly switch into. And special scuff is like laughable damage against Vaporeon. So hopefully we kind of just outspeed him and do the damn thing. And with that, that is gonna bring us to the end of our team builder. Okay, we gotta water the pipes here so we can do this outro. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our team builder for the semis of the PBO. It should be a fun battle. It should be a fucking scary battle, and it should be a battle that tests my ability not to throw, because I have a tendency to do that. So let's not do that this week. Play really well, play very clean, and with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all your support this season. I know we're getting more and more new viewers every day, so shout out to all you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be the battle against the New York Nickits for semifinals. See you guys. Bye.